I'm Sammy Santos here in the strategic presentation class with Dr. J. He asked us to do a presentation here for you on what we are passionate about. It is called Matters of the Heart. When he first gave this assignment, my mind raced to many different things: music, church, all kinds of different things. I guess you could say I'm passionate about being passionate. However, there is probably one thing that I'm very, very much passionate about, probably more than anything else. If you know me very well, you know that I am a youth pastor at the Peculiar Methodist Church down in Peculiar. My kids are very important to me. Well, I call them my kids. And it tears me up having to spend my Wednesday nights here instead of with them. I feel like I've given them up for adoption or something. But in the couple years that I have been teaching them, there is one thing that I have learned that each of us have struggled with a lot. And I think it leads to many of the other problems that they deal with. They struggle to strive for perfection in their schools and at home according to their parents, their peers, their siblings, and everyone that they respect, basically. I know I went through this same type of struggle when I was their age, and even still I go through that same struggle. So the important thing here that I am being passionate about is being yourself and being comfortable in your own skin. One thing that my youth group kids and I talk about is Makeupless Mondays. Mostly my girls and I do this. On Mondays, we don't wear makeup and we post a selfie either on Instagram or we send it to each other or we just keep it for ourselves if we're pretty new to it so that we can see ourselves without the makeup and just for who God has made us to be. And it may just be a superficial thing, but it is the beginning of what can lead to the inner stuff. On Saturdays, we're talking about something, we're trying to include the guys in on this because they struggle with it too. A lot of people think they don't, but they really do. So on Saturdays, we're talking about having a self-stifling Saturday where you just dress up as anyone that you want to be and pretend like you are not you. It's easy for them to do on Saturdays because they don't have to worry about school that day. So they can dress up like anyone they want to be and just experiment. You should have a chance to experiment. Being one specific thing, who made that a rule? You don't have to just be emo, just be fancy. You don't have to look good all the time. You don't have to be lazy all the time. You can be whoever you want to be, whenever you want to be. And I try really hard to convey that to them, and they know it deep down, but it's hard to face that and hard to hold it to yourself. So we're trying this new thing on Saturdays. We just started it, where we just dress up. Some of them get really crazy with it. You should see them. Some of it's funny, and some of them take it very seriously, and it's really cool to see how they're developing already, even though it's this new thing that we've tried. So I really want to impart that to them, but I think it's really important for all of us. I know when I was in high school, I felt like everyone looked to me to be the listener, the happy person, and most of the time I was that person. But sometimes I had struggles too, and I felt like I didn't have anyone to go to because they all expected me to be the happy one. And yeah, I like being the happy one, but I can't always be the happy one. So that's just one example of what the pressures that we come to. Even good pressures sometimes are not always great. And perfection, that struggle to be perfect, leads to stress, and then it leads to poor ways of dealing with stress. And I think that's just such a huge thing for my kids, and it breaks my heart when I see them not acting like themselves around other kids. The best thing to me is when they are just doing something completely random, they think no one's watching them, and then they notice me or one of the other kids, and they're like, "You saw me. Oh no, I was being me." Like, that's so crazy. Who should be embarrassed to be themselves? No one. No one. We should just be so comfortable in our own skin. Obviously,